Clever Comments is a new app for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central by Clever Dynamics, and it's been added to Clever Essentials. When using Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, there are situations where you want to provide things like a specific instruction or information that doesn't quite fit to a standard code or description. In the past, these have been handled through comments, which can be limited in its size to 80 characters as well as the view. Providing this information is also something often handled in modifications to the system, since there's no inheritance from one record to the next, such as from an item or customer card down to the document. Now with Clever Comments, a standard, easy and effective approach to storing and displaying information against records can be done, including things like inheritance, notifications and more. Let's take a quick look at some of the improved functionality with Clever Comments. On a customer card, if we go to Customer and Comments, we can immediately see the new functionality. Comments will be sorted by different levels of importance, such as important and standard. You can see this displays nicer than standard. You can read the comment as well as edit and delete it if necessary and see who created it and when. Create new ones with new from across the top. You can set things like a comment type, comment importance, and a date from and to as expiries. Comment types allow us to cause things such as inheritance, where a comment from a customer card, for example, will flow down to a sales order when we create one. We can set its importance, and the date from and date to allows us to set an expiry, after which it'll be easy to delete through a task, and we can also start from pulling through to future documents. Inside the text box, we can just write the comment. It can be whatever you need it to be. With the text editor, there are also options for the formatting. We can set bold, italic and underline, subscript and superscript, as well as options for the actual colour of the text. We can set it to be formatted towards the left, middle or right. And we can even have bullet points, or also a numbered list. All depending on what you need to enter in the comment, such as a sequence of steps, allowing it to enter in much more into the comments than it could in the past, with the additional formatting allowing it to read better and easier where required. Let's take a look at how some of the inheritance can work. If I create a new document from the customer card, such as a sales order, we'll immediately be able to see, because some of the setup that we've done, we're actually going to be given notifications about the comment. And depending on the setup, we have to verify this with an OK or cancel. If we come up to Order and Comments, we can see any comments we set to inherit through have come through like so. This is all done by using that comment type. We can even create new ones from here by selecting New from across the top, and we can just fill in the information as required. We don't need to set a comment type, and that can be good if we don't want this comment to be inherited later on. A comment without a comment type essentially works how they used to previously, now with better formatting. Let's take another look at a level of inheritance that can happen when we add something like an item to our sales order. If we add something like an Athens desk here, and then we come to Line, Related Information and Comments, we can find a comment here has flowed through from the item card itself, as it's been set for inheritance to be pulled through from item cards to sales orders. And if we add an item that has a layer of inheritance that also requires a notification, we get something like this, which means our users can be notified about useful information, such as perhaps an item not being available to be shipped out of the country at the current moment in time. Let's take a look at those comment types and how they're set up. These comment types are simple. Here's one we set up earlier for customers. It's simply a code, comment source, description, and expiry period to automatically fill out when the comment will expire. Then we have the inheritance, the areas of the system that can have a comment inherited from that comment source above. The options for display type means that we can have notifications where required, and notifications and acknowledgement if we want to. With conditions, we can set options for when these comments will be inherited. For example, we saw earlier a notification about an item not being able to be shipped outside of the country. If that's the case, we could have put a filter on here to make sure it only appear on certain documents where the customer in fact actually isn't a domestic customer. Finally, there's also a task to delete comments. We can use this to clean up the system wherever there are expired comments set through those expiry periods and expiry dates, and therefore remove them and reduce clutter. And that's a brief look at Clever Comments and what it brings to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central.